Hello! Today's stories come from r/ProRevenge. We've got 3 stories of spicy revenge today. Our first hit the top 10 charts but had a few people claiming BS. So I thought it might be fun to read together and you can decide. First up, make my coworkers cry. I will help karma turn your life upside down. Backstory. I worked at this hotel for over 2 years and was one of 2 people left that went through the training when our hotel changed hotel franchises. During this training, we were told about certain rules the company had. Cast, manager, front desk manager, he only was here for 4 to 6 months at this point. Me, I am a nice guy, unless you are a bully or entitled person. A few others I will mention as we go through. One afternoon, I was scheduled to work second shift, 3 to 11. I walked in, and both morning front desk coworkers looked like they had been massively crying as their makeup was smeared. My manager looking quite upset. I ask, "What's wrong?" Manager, "We have a major jerk as a guest. This guy is the highest level on the rewards for the hotel chain. He is very demanding and wants free upgrades, free this or that, and screams anytime he has an interaction with the staff. This guy has made every department call me complaining about him. Now, this guy just came to the desk and screamed at these 2 coworkers until they both were crying. These 2 ladies were fresh high school graduates and were very sweet and innocent people. They loved helping people and didn't deserve this treatment." As he is explaining this, I look up this guy's room details. Once my manager finishes explaining everything this guy had done, I see this guy's info. I had a smile from ear to ear. I reply, "Didn't you see he is an employee of a different hotel?" Manager, "Yes, but so what?" I replied, "First off, while you travel as an employee, you are required to behave and be respectful. It is in the fine print on the discount form." I grabbed his form and showed it to the manager. Failure to be respectful can lead to having your employee discount suspended or permanently revoked, and even get you terminated. You need to call this guy's hotel and ask for the GM, then explain to him who you are and what this guy is doing. I look up the hotel phone number and call the hotel and then handed my manager the phone. Manager, after his call ends with the GM, he has an evil and satisfying smile on his face. His GM is steaming mad after I described all the stuff this guy has done. Main switchboard phone rings. I answered, "Hello, thank you for calling hotel name. How may I direct your call?" Caller, "I want to speak to entitled jerk's room, please." I replied, "Absolutely, sir. Have a nice day." Transfer the call and looked at my manager and sang with a sarcastic tone, "Someone wanted to talk to entitled jerk. Gee, I wonder who that could be." Manager continues after he stopped laughing. "The GM gave me his personal cell phone number and said if I have any more issues at all, to call him immediately. I am leaving the phone number next to the switchboard if you need to call him." I told manager, "Your revenge is done. Now for my revenge." Manager wide-eyed, "Oh crap, what are you going to do?" Me smiling a very evil smile. "You'll see." I pick up the phone to make a call. "Hello, Hotel Rewards customer service. Yes, I would like to report someone using reward account while using employee discount on his stay." Customer service, "He can't do that." I replied, "I know. I am calling to report him." I gave her the guest reservation number and rewards member number. I continued, "I bet anything if you dig through this guy's history, you will find all his stays are probably at employee discount." Customer service, "I am starting a ticket to have this guy's account investigated." I replied, "Thank you." Then hang up the phone. The manager watched as I then remove his rewards number from his stay. My manager had a huge grin on his face. That was awesome. I explain, "Oh, I am not quite finished with him yet. It is time to go spread the news to all departments he is no longer a rewards member." I made a new key for his room without concierge access. I walked around to every department. As I explained why I was stopping by, everyone had the same reaction as soon as I mentioned the guy's name. "Oh gosh, now what about this butthole?" I finished explaining how he was no longer a reward member, and if he gives anyone issues to call the front desk immediately, and his GM already probably tore him a new one just a minute ago. Everyone was so happy at this news. I finally went to the concierge room, used the guest's new key to avoid his current key. Then I walked into the room and explained the information to the evening concierge. She cringed at the mention of his name. After explaining she would not have to deal with him again, and asked her to leave the morning person a note about this guy not allowed in the concierge room anymore. She was very happy. While I was gone, evidently the manager explained what we did to the two morning front desk ladies. The minute I got back to the desk, both my front desk coworkers all came up to me and gave me a huge hug and thanked me so many times. Manager to me after the other coworkers went home. Do me a huge favor, please, I replied. Sure, what's up? Manager, if I ever upset you, please come tell me so I can fix the issue. Later that night, entitled jerk comes to the desk, hat in hand, politely saying his key doesn't work. I replied, oh, so sorry about that. Let me make you a new key. In the best fake smile I can muster. Aftermath. Next day, I check his rewards account and it's now suspended. Check back next week. Sorry, account number not found. Ho ho! I would not want to be on OP's bad side. He really put the pro in ProRevenge with this one. It is cute that he was just doing justice by his coworkers, though. Such a vigilante move. Let's check out the comments, where we find a number of people calling out how ridiculous it is that this guy apparently worked in hospitality. Undersea Serenity said, it's amazing that someone working in hospitality, let alone another hotel, could treat staff with such disdain. Usually, the crap you deal with in any service industry leads to treating others in the same field with more compassion, or at least understanding. Multipass said, yeah, he knows what it is like on the other side. Monkey Choker added, some people go, I know what it's like and will therefore not do that to others. While other people go, I had to take it, now it's my turn to dish it out. Baker Spice shared, the guest when he picked up that phone call. I never ordered a wake-up call. His GM, this is a different kind of wake-up call. Hung Low said, when the guest picks up the phone screaming, who the F is this? His GM, surprise, mother tucker. Our second story hits the warehouse again. Why are warehouses and trucking such hotbeds of workplace conflict? Our story is called Crappy Bosses, FAFO, effed around and found out. I had a job working warehouse delivery for a store. The entire corporate structure was built on treating the people below you like lesser than, and that was passed down through every level. Managers would just bark orders and cuss you out for any reason they could think of. They paid about 25 cents over minimum wage, and the bosses drove BMWs and Mercedes. The big boss lived in an $8 million house. Our store was the freight hub for 4 others in the little chain. So we got to know the drivers from the other stores well, as they were always coming to load freight or drop stuff off. One day, we're sitting with 2 drivers from another store, and Buddy remarks that he and his partner are working over 60 hours a week. I say he must be doing okay with all that overtime pay. He says they're not getting OT, just paid a straight time rate. I ask him if he signed an averaging agreement. He says no. He shows me his pay stub, and there it is. His partner comes back and confirms all this, and they've been doing it for months. He'd asked his manager about OT and been told that straight pay was just the way it worked. I tell them that's illegal and urge them to take it to labor relations. They're reluctant to rock the boat, figuring they'll be fired, so I drop it. We never get any overtime. Our warehouse was busy, our store was not. A couple months later, they're in again, and Buddy's partner tells us he and his girlfriend are moving back east, and he's giving his notice. I tell him again to file a complaint. Nothing to lose now, so he does. A few weeks go by, and when I come in one day, there are expensive boss cars parked all along the loading dock. My workmate says something big is going down. All the managers have been summoned and are inside with a bunch of people in suits. So we wander upstairs to see what's going on. The company bookkeeper had an office in our store and handled all the payroll. He was a Chinese immigrant, nice guy. The bosses were trying to pin this on him, saying he didn't speak English very well, which was true, and had obviously screwed everything up. Turns out he was a pretty cagey guy. He knew what they'd told him to do was illegal, and he was able to produce all the records of him telling them that, and of them telling him to basically just shut up and do it. He hands it all over and quits. I see Buddy, with a new partner, a few weeks later. He's got a pay stub for about 15 paychecks' worth of earnings. Company got caught for all the overtime pay and a pretty substantial fine on top of that. Added bonus, the second in command had driven over a nail when he parked his silver BMW on the loading dock and had a flat when he came out of the store. He opened his trunk and called me over and said, "Change that for me." I told him, "Sorry, that's not my job, and if I hurt myself, my compensation claim would be denied." As he went in to call a tow truck, I stood on the loading dock and gazed upon all the havoc I had wrought, and my heart was glad. Language fluency and intelligence are not mutually exclusive. Only an ignorant person would think otherwise. I'm so glad the bookkeeper had all the needed proof to exonerate himself. And how lovely that these nimwits had to pay out and were charged a fine. What a cherry on top. Let's check out the comments. There's a similar and fun anecdote from another Redditor. Naughty Day shared, "Fantastic job, OP. Something similar happened to my wife and her coworkers in a very busy spa in a nice resort. They never received holiday pay, even though they worked all holidays, Christmas Day included. We ended up moving to a different area of the province, so she filed a complaint with labor standards. We moved and forgot all about it. About 2 months later, my wife received a huge paycheck for all the unpaid holiday pay. My wife's phone was blowing up for days with all her ex-coworkers calling and texting to thank her for what she did. All staff ended up receiving years' worth of holiday pay. The acting manager was fired. So proud of my wife." Randomorph said, "While this is a satisfying story, the worst part is that the bosses won't face any criminal charges for this theft. If you stole 15 paychecks from the company, you'd be doing hard time. They steal 15 paychecks from numerous people, and all they get is a slap on the wrist fine and a 'please pay everyone what you should have paid in the first place if you don't mind.' What a joke." Victoria Euphoria added, "That goes along the lines of if they don't pay you enough, HR payroll will have this worked out in a couple of months. If they pay you too much, you despicable person, and claw it back from your account immediately or the next check." Senorita Stuff and Stuff said, "FAFO. My brain not getting most acronyms. Ah, yes, the bosses are fracking a fat orca." OP replied, "Fracked around and found out." Our third story seemed to get no love on Reddit, but I thought it was hilarious. It's titled, "Prankster Gets Pranked." I try to treat people the way I would like to be treated, but sometimes people need a little of their own medicine. I worked outside in a lumber yard pulling lumber for orders to be delivered to the job site. I would pull the 2x4s and band them together, and then go out back and pull the I-joist, which can be up to 48 feet long, and band them for delivery. I was always in a hurry trying to get my list done, and one day, someone set an empty window rack in front of my only path to get my load to the bander. I had to go back, find some wood, and set my load down, and then go move the rack and come back to get my load again. I was very angry that someone was doing this to me, so started watching to see if I could catch whoever it was. And sure enough, I looked up one day in time to see Joel racing away on his forklift and a window rack sitting in my way. That night, I thought up a plan to get him back. Joel was a delivery driver, and he finds the bundles for his order by the order number spray painted on the side. My spray paint was green, and I painted the number as always, but painted a made-up number in black on the other side. I watched Joel find the bundle and load it on his truck and go to the back to get the I-joist to put on top. I quickly pulled that bundle off and turned it around so the fake number in black was showing. Joel came back and loaded the I-joist on top only to realize he had the wrong bundle. So he took everything back off and set the bundle back where he got it. I secretly watched as he looked around for his bundle and finally went to the yard office to ask for help. I sprang into action as soon as he was gone and turned the bundle back around with the right number showing. Joel came back and asked me if I knew where that bundle was. So I looked at his order and pointed at the same bundle he had just left and said, "Oh, it's right over there, Joel," keeping a straight face. Joel looked bewildered, went back to the bundle, and verified the number again. He loaded it on his truck and got the rest of the stuff, and then just sat on his lift, scratching his head for a while. Joel was older than me and had worked there many years, so I suppose he was wondering if he was getting dementia or something. I am sure he figured it all out later, but he never messed with me again. Nice. Joel definitely got what was coming to him. If you're going to go around pranking people, you really have to anticipate retribution of some sort. I have to say, though, exacting a prank in an environment with manual labor seems odd to me, but maybe I'm missing something. Anywho, on to the comments where we'll find some fun wordplay. Arjack said, "Keep doing it until he stops messing with you." Coder Joe 1 said, "His number was up." Fractal Frog added, "His number was sideways." If you've enjoyed the story and would like to hear more, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Thanks, and bye for now.